And welcome again, everyone, to another edition of the BIS podcast, broadcasting live on the Marvin Network, where our goal is to bring you updates in local government, technology, and to mix in a little bit of fun as well. On today's podcast, we have with us Neil Butera and Lance Warren of Specialized Tax Recovery. Specialized Tax Recovery, or STR for short, is a new partnership that we have made here at BIS. So Lance and Neil, I want to thank y'all for joining us here today and appreciate you being on with us.
Gosh, thanks for having us on. It's fun. This is my second podcast ever, so thanks for having us on. Excited to chat a little bit about the partnership and why how this came to be.
Absolutely, guys. And again, thank y'all for joining us here today. And now, folks, Neil Butera is the president of STR, and Lance is the VP of technology. So, guys, tell me a little bit about yourselves and what STR is all about. How did it start?
So STR was kind of a brainchild or a project of a few people in the aviation industry. Lance was actually part of that group originally. That the idea sprouted back in about 2008 with a handful of guys in the aviation world that saw a problem, that were spending a lot of time in the aviation world, buying, selling, modifying planes, understanding how aircraft move, how aircraft owners think. And there was a problem, but not a solution. And as the aviation guys got their heads together, they were really trying to solve a different problem. Lance can kind of go into it a little bit about how that developed. But really, it was born out of necessity. There was not a good solution in the market. There wasn't anyone working with the assessor's office, or in Texas, the appraisal districts. And a solution was born to help the tax officials better manage aviation taxation, finding out where they are. Are they in my jurisdiction? It's a resource to think like an aircraft owner, and to kind of even the playing field a little bit right now. A lot of the cards currently are being held by the aircraft owners, and they can make it very challenging to really find the truth when it comes to aircraft taxation. And this resource and our group is designed and was compiled to really help level the playing field. So we have pilots, we have RPAs in Texas, we have RPAs on staff to kind of help with the process of renditions and appeals, and our services are really designed to bring a level of expertise that really has not revolved around the aviation world. I mean, in the taxing world, there's a lot of resources out there for home values and for real property and for GIS mapping. And, there's 150 CAMA systems, right? But there's really only one aircraft group, and that's us. So we add a little bit of expertise in that field. And as the company started, I was brought in to really bring a dream to life. It was kind of built, and I was brought in originally back in 2019. I was brought in to kind of help execute the vision. Right, we had a platform. We had some ideas. We had a great group of guys, but we really wanted to put a lot more resources to executing that vision. And I came in from the outside industry. I actually came from no aviation experience. I was business minded. I went to school and born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I went to school there. I went to school in Eastern Michigan, played baseball, so kind of played baseball my whole life. And I was always fascinated once I got out of college with the idea of starting a business, running a business, being my own boss if I could, and being with a group of guys that really had passion, right? In the baseball world, it was one team, one vision, right? How do we get to victory? How do we get to win? And I really enjoyed that camaraderie. And that's what we found here. I was injected into a group of very knowledgeable guys in a field that was very underdeveloped. with not a lot of resources at our fingertips to really learn. So we had to really create this from nothing. We had to figure out, what the market was doing. There was no market for this. We established that market, and we've been building that and constantly adapting our services to our clients as we learn and as the times change. Our objective is to better serve our clients in the aviation field. So, I mean, that's a little bit about what we do and how we got there. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but one of our main resources, and one of our founders, Lance Warren, is with me. VP of technology. He's kind of the brainchild behind the back end stuff, and he manages the reporting and the appeals stuff, and he deals a lot with the client interaction. So he's a phenomenal resource for us. And I'm going to kick it over to him, how he got here, because he knows pretty well, and he's been a pilot for a very long time. So Lance can dive into how he got here.
Yeah, in short, like Neil alluded to, some of the early founders, a few of us that initially started this, had been in the industry for over 20 years each, and aviation industry, that is. And we came to find that and learn of the strategies that aircraft owners would use in this particular case to mitigate and, if at all, avoid taxes altogether. And the more we learned about that, kind of put that in conjunction with some significant IT efforts to be able to accurately represent what aircraft do throughout the course of the year. And so we put the two efforts together and realized that nobody was doing this. Nobody was helping the assessors with that effort, and they certainly didn't have the resources or the technology to do it. So as Neil said, we saw that need, and so we developed a technology solution around that. So yeah, my background is born and raised in Western Kentucky. I did start flying at the age of 14, eventually got my license at 17, and my pursuit was to become a pilot, but even though I still fly today, I ended up going more into the operations and business management side of aviation. Graduated from Middle Tennessee State University with a degree in aerospace. My minor was in computer information systems. So that combination of aerospace and computers made this a natural fit for me. With that experience in the industry, which includes flight operations, aircraft management, IT development, it led me to this opportunity to develop the technology that we use here at STR to serve assessors and auditors nationwide. I'm real big on detail, and that attention to detail, quest for accuracy, and a passion for customer services is really served me well in this particular venture. And we're really looking forward to growing those partnerships like we are developing here with you, and hopefully with many assessors and auditors nationwide as we continue to grow this.
Absolutely, guys. And that's really cool because it's something you really never think about. And you think of homes, personal property, even boats, but aircraft, I wouldn't even have thought of that. So that's kind of like an untapped market that y'all kind of dug into at starting this. So how did the partnership with BIS come to be?
All through the trade shows. As we started going, to TAD, to TAAO, we started getting our services out there. We were always seeing the BIS guys dressed up in costumes, Scooby Doo and Avengers, a handful of other things. I actually just saw Vanessa down in Georgia, and I think it was Honolulu or Luau theme. So she had all kinds of blinking lights, and she's one of the people that I've spent a lot of time with. And as we talked, we developed a lot of similarities in our discussions and our services. We had a lot of crossover in who we were talking with and wanted to work with. And, she introduced me to Britt and to Mark. And as we talked on a high level, what this is going to look like, one of the first things that they said is customer service has to be number one. And that's exactly what we believe in as well. As we went through kind of what we wanted STR to be, I don't want to steal Lance's thunder here, but he wanted to be Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is known for their customer service. It's always customer first. How do we make their experience better? And Lance drives that. He helps with the day-to-day account management reporting. What do you need? How can I do it better, faster, more accurate? And he's done an awesome job integrating those thoughts into our service. So as we talk, customer service number one, check. Let's continue the conversation. And their next target and our next target is how do we help our clients better, right? That's part of the customer service realm. And one of the challenges that we talked about was a lot of people don't know about this. It's it's an unfocused market effort. It's an unfocused department effort on their end, right? Like you said, a lot of people focus on real estate. They know that there's aerial photography out there. They know GIS mapping. They're constantly dealing with camera systems, right? If you talk to any department, a lot of the aircraft departments are either small or lack a lot of experience. We have, when you think about the experience in the office, everyone has a home. Everyone, has bought a car or leased a car, so they're familiar with that experience, right? And that breeds confidence. That breeds a lot of people that understand what's going on. But aircraft is always that big scary thing, right? They're expensive. We have not run into a lot of people that have ever flown in a private plane or been in the air. A lot of people are even scared to get on a commercial flight, right? So aircraft in general are just a challenge because of the experience, right? And unless you dive into the aviation world, the pilots, the owners, the sellers, the modifiers, that experience is very hard to come across because they normally stay in the aviation field. They're rarely coming over, to the assessor side to say, hey, I think we can help you on that. And that's what we try to bring. And Lance can talk about this more, but in our discussions around the country, we've only seen one or two pilots that really work in the assessor's office. I think one of them was in North Carolina, and he was working to even get his hours, which is a challenge once you start working in the assessor's office. So very few pilots, and even fewer people that have ever owned a plane. Some people that fly them, but very few that own them. And it was a great opportunity for BIS and STR to say, hey, our clients, might not even know that they need this solution. A lot of them kind of push it off to the side because it is such a challenge. So a lot of our conversations are around education, showing them what is potentially out there. And one of the first conversations that we have is, look, you might not know this is a problem now, but looking at our data and looking at your data, here's what we're seeing. And we try to bring a lot of these conversations to light, to have that conversation on a level playing field to say, hey, we're on the same side of the fence. This is a problem that you guys have that we're going to help you resolve. And we work with them to help resolve that. And it's something that has been really well received. A lot of these counties that as they realize how big of a challenge it is, once they open it up and look at it and they say, wow, aircraft, I didn't realize how many ways or avenues or gaps there are for an aircraft owner to really take advantage of some of that gaps in the data. So that's where we naturally kind of fit with them. And as we talk with Britt and Mark and we check those boxes, then we get introduced to Stony and we talk with Bree and everyone has that same goal. How do we work together to build customer satisfaction, to serve our clients better, and to help them find new solutions in the market that they may not have seen? So we leverage, BIS relationships and we help them say, hey, this is something new and cool. It might help you. Let's take a look at it. So that's the main opportunity to work and help your customer service with a solution that may not have been found, outside of that.
And I'll add to that, BIS, on your website clearly says that you're dedicated to providing the best technology solutions for government entities, and that's what we are. We consider ourselves one of the best technology offerings, coupled with great customer support. We don't just want to throw a software at some of these entities and say good luck. We want to be able to support that and be an extension of their office and provide them with resources they don't have. And that's where that partnership, I feel, really fits well. And then, you guys also say that you understand the frustration that can accompany outdated or overwhelming technology. Well, In this case, it's even a lack of technology. Most or all offices really don't even have this technology. We've been, we've been going to trade shows and talking with offices nationwide, and nobody seems to be addressing the aircraft or have a technology that does what we're capable of doing. And so that's what we take pride in, and that's where I see a great fit between STR and BIS in accomplishing very similar goals.
Right on, guys. Y'all did mention about Chick-fil-A because I will say they're the best customer service for fast food anywhere, probably even in the restaurant business. So, and I don't mind saying that because I love Chick-fil-A so much and I've never had a order go wrong anytime I've been there. So, what are some of the goals that y'all are looking to achieve out of this partnership with BIS?
Sure, and had a question for you. So, what are the analogies I came up with, and kind of tying, a couple of these questions together? Do you do much fishing, Josh? You ever spend any time on the water?
I've been known to fish or two and maybe have a drink in my hand while I'm doing it.
Yeah, bobber watching on the
Yeah,
dock.
yeah,
Nice.
that's my kind of fishing, I'll say. And you could ask anybody about me. I love to be out there, hang out. But yeah, so yeah, I'm a bobber watcher.
Perfect. I mean, as long as you're fishing and having fun, that's it. So one of the main things that I have, I suffer from just an insatiable curiosity. I love learning. My first job out of college, I was a medical device rep, and my job was to learn how to perform various surgeries. I had to learn how to use our products to, you know, ultimately sell to my surgeons to help them treat their patients better. So I had to learn how to do a rotator cuff repair. I had to learn how to do a total shoulder replacement. I love that. I love the operation. If you've ever done Legos, it's step by step. Here's what you do and how you build it. And there's always a better mousetrap out there. My job was to bring new technologies to surgeons so they might get better outcomes. They might get faster rehab. They might be able to do the surgery faster and better and more reproducible. So I love that aspect. Um, and one of the things that I have always loved was fishing. And my father-in-law introduced me to muskie fishing. I don't know if you've ever seen a muskie, but they're the biggest, baddest freshwater fish. I mean, if you know what a barracuda is, they're the freshwater barracuda. And they're the apex predator. They love to do whatever they want. They're lions. They're hard to find. They're hard to catch, and it's a huge challenge for me to put together that puzzle every day on the water. I love learning about forage migration and what lures to throw in. What are they doing? How are they reacting to weather and patterns and external factors? It all starts at ground zero every day, and I love that challenge. And one of the newest technology one of the newest technology upgrade is called live imaging. If you've ever seen a sonar, Josh, it really takes a picture and then puts it on the screen, and it's all of it's what's happening in the past. So you can see how deep the water is. You can kind of see that there might be a fish. If the bottom's at 40 feet, you might be able to see a fish hanging out at 20. But that's about it. You can get a decent picture of what's going on, but you have to be really good to get a good result from that. The newest technology, what's called live imaging, and it's like playing a video game. It takes a live image. You can see how big the fish is. You can see the fins, and it lays it out in like a grid system. So you can really see, okay, 40 feet in front of the boat and 10 feet down. I know that I can put my lure right there, and you can essentially bonk them on the head, right? So it's an incredible tool that I thought would make me a much better fisherman. And I struggled with it. It was so much information. It was data overload. I remember the first couple days I got it. I struggled. I barely made any casts. I had to learn how to read this thing, and it was a huge challenge. But it made me definitely in the beginning a worse fisherman because I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know how to read it. And one of the ways that can help kind of shorten that learning curve, and this is the analogy I was working towards, is when new technology comes out, it's normally a hindrance in the beginning because it's so new, you got to learn it. And it made me a worse fisherman for that. And a way to shorten that learning curve is to hire a guide, spend 4, 5, $600, and get on their boat and have them teach you about the water, teach you about the technology, show them what am I even looking at here. And in a half a day, 6 hours, 8 hours, you can really learn like 10 years that you may not have even learned by yourself. So it allows you to learn from experts, get taught quickly, and shorten your learning curve. And ultimately, a week later, it would take me, if I caught one or two muskies a day, that was a great day. That was a huge accomplishment before I got this new tool. And now I could have 6, 7, 8 fish days, and my best day on the water, I've had 12. That is an enormous difference once I learned how to use it, right? So I equate this to this. Our technology is that live scope. It's a powerful tool that when we show people, it's like, wow, that's something really cool, but I don't even know how to start using it. And I always equate to that. We're going to be your guide. Allow us to come in, show you how to use it. We'll show you how to fish. So a year down the road, 2 years down the road, you're going to be able to catch 6, 7, 8, 10 fish in a day by yourself. And then if you ever need us, we're a phone call away. Here's how you use it. Here's how you operate it. So I always make those analogies to say, let's be your guide. Let me show you our experience and let me shorten that learning curve, because this is a great, powerful tool, but it could also bring you back a little bit if you don't understand how to use it. So that's our goal in technology and bringing that forward. So BIS and us are going to help bring that technology. We're going to guide people towards being better fishermen.
And I'd say to summarize that, I mean, at the end of the day, we see a lot of positive synergies between the two companies. Our goal is to help BIS meet the needs of your customers. And this is definitely one that they have, and this will be hopefully a great stopgap. But also help SDR be able to, provide this solution to as many people as possible. We want to be able to get the word out.
No, absolutely, guys. I love y'all's dedication, to customer service. And, Neil, you were mentioning being a big fisherman. Where I'm in, I can make another analogy to that, or kind of similar, is I'm a big golfer, and you talk about a good partnership and using a new tool, and you talk about going with a guide and kind of getting, a fresh take on things when you're using that new tool. One of the things when people ask me, how do I become a better golfer? And I always tell them, for me, it was taking lessons. Get a guy that can be your coach. Even if it's a hitter, as you play baseball, you had a batting coach, and one the guy can work through with that. So working through those new tools, but also to have that partnership with somebody that may know how to use that tool and kind of show you, and that kind of correlates to getting that partnership going, and also to get your product or whatever you have down the line to get it flowing and going in the right direction that you want to. So Lance, I'm going to throw this question at you. So what is one thing that you would like folks to know about STR? Neil, you can join in, after, but Lance, I'm going to throw this to you. What's one thing you want the folks to know about STR?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really want folks to know, I mean, we really are here for them. We are on their team. We are on their side. And at the end of the day, we want to be simply an extension of their office and a vital part of their team. We'd love to be able to be viewed as teammates, somebody they can pick up and call, and not be threatened by, but be encouraged by the information that we can help them with, and provide them details that they probably would not have gotten otherwise, and know that they can just reach out to us just like they're calling somebody else in the office to get that information, and know that we're partnering with them, working for them. So that, for me, that's one of the big things that I like to have folks know and be encouraged by.
I'll jump into here, Josh. One of the best parts of my day, we understand how challenging this is. And I love when people have that light bulb moment when they say, like, when you talk about hiring a swing coach, when you talk about hiring a guide, that's a scary thought for a lot of people. You're inviting someone in to potentially highlight some flaws that exist for the betterment of the process, right? Our job isn't to say, hey, you guys really stink at this, and shame on you. That's not our goal. Our goal is to say, hey, we see some areas for improvement. Here's what's helped our other clients, and here's how we resolve that, right? We're really playing doctor. saying, hey, this is what you're ailing from. Here's a couple solutions. Let's see what works best for you, right? You might not need to get new clubs. You might just need to understand that, hey, if I just don't cast my hand so far outside, I can stay inside the ball better. And all of a sudden you just saved $1,000 on new clubs, right? So I love having that light bulb moment with our clients. And this is, one that we had last week. We had a client call us up. They were struggling with an aircraft appeal. We gave them some documentation, and we really went down the line of talking about aircraft ownership and depreciation and how an owner needs to write it off and expenses and on all these things that unless you're an owner, you really don't think about, right? But one of the main goals of owning a plane, or the main benefits of owning a plane in Texas, as a business use, is to be able to write off those values. As a business owner, that's a huge asset to reduce your tax liability. And they're all thinking about it. They're all thinking about, hey, how do I get that number lower and lower and lower? And aircraft are just, a $1, $2, $3 million asset. That's a great write-off. So we started going down that line of, how does an aircraft owner think? And we talked for like 35 minutes about the process of buying a plane, going through the purchase agreement, going through pre-buy and post-buy and inspection and all these things, and bonus depreciation and write-offs for fuel and 135 charters, and how do we manage this asset once we get it? And at the end of it, this was the aircraft manager for the client we're working with. She stepped back and she said, wow, I thought I knew a lot about aircraft, but this is so cool. I had no idea about this. And I, thank you guys for taking the time to explain that, because now I'm just intrigued. And she's diving into ownership. And this is not something that I ever saw as a possibility or think like they do. So she thanked us. And that was an awesome conversation. I mean, I love having that moment. And, this is something that we're going to continue doing, providing that light bulb moment for people to see that, wow, this is a great, powerful tool, and these guys can really help us if you just invite us in to tear down your swing a little bit.
No, you hit it right on the head there, Neil and Lance. And you talk about, once that light bulb moment comes on for people, and like, oh, now I get it. And it's really cool when you get to go out and, even one of the parts of my job, when you get to go out and talk to people and you like, oh my Lord, like I didn't think of it that way. And you get, and just, talking through it with them. And one of the big things, we try to do here at BIS, we're not going to sell you something that you don't need. We're not going to go out, be a car specialist, hey, you need this car, it's the best and everything. We're going to tell you, hey, what are your problems and what are you needing, rather than just telling us that to you. And that way we can kind of, make it work. And so, guys, I really love what y'all have talked about here today. And my final question to both of y'all is, how can more people learn about this partnership between BIS and STR?
Yeah, so we're doing a couple of media releases. I've been working with Bree. She's done a great job. You guys have an awesome person running that division. She's been super helpful. She's helped us with we're doing a social media post. We're doing a blog article. We're doing this podcast. All in the goal of sharing our information. So we have a website, we have a blog. You can sign up for our email called The Runway. We share tips and tricks, same way that you guys do. And we're only a phone call away. So you can check out our website. You can check out BIS website. And we're always here to kind of talk aircraft. You can see us at the trade shows. I think we're going to TWAO here at the end of the month. Have a booth there. Come by and talk aircraft. We're not going to have any crazy costumes. We'll leave that to BIS, but we're going to be around talking aircraft.
Awesome, guys. I really do appreciate, joining me here today. Lance and Neil, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here today. And, just awesome, guys. I'm actually going to be at TWAO too, so I can't wait to actually meet y'all in person and get to hang out a little bit. But again, guys, I appreciate it, taking the time. Love this new partnership and love where we're going between BIS and STR. So again, guys, thank y'all so much.
Thanks for having us, Josh. It was awesome conversation.
No problem at all, guys. And thank you all for listening to this edition of the BIS podcast. Again, we've been broadcasting live on the Marvin Network. Again, talking with the president of Specialized Tax Recovery, Neil Butera, and also the VP of Technology for STR, Lance Warren. Again, thank you so much, guys, for joining us here today. I'm Josh Green, and until next time, we say so long and goodbye.